Tonight, we analyze the high price tags being levied across the continent of Africa, from the sudden fall of political air in South Sudan to the deadly cost of seeking opportunity in Ghana. We see the political survival, security, and even basic hope come at an unpredictable and sometimes tragic cost. This is the African News Update on top Accolade News. For headlines: South Sudan President removes Vice President. Mali government dismisses fears of jihadist takeover in Bamako. Nigeria scraps 15% fuel import duty. US calls for global action to halt RSF atrocities in Sudan. We begin in South Sudan. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir has dismissed Vice President Benjamin Bormel, removing him from SPLM deputy leadership and demoting him in the National Security Service amid internal conflict and succession uncertainty. Bormel, long considered Kiir's likely successor, faces US sanctions and the UN reports linking his companies to $1.7 billion in unfulfilled road contracts. Kiir also removed the central bank governor and revenue authority head. With elections postponed, former rival Riek Machar facing treason charges, and clashes ongoing, the reshuffle underscores that in South Sudan, political survival often comes at the cost of loyalty. From political upheaval to security fears in West Africa, Mali's foreign minister, Abdoulaye Diop, dismissed as implausible claims that jihadists could soon seize Bamako amid Western adversaries urging citizens to leave. The Al-Qaeda-linked group JNIM caused a field blockade in September, leading to locked petrol lines and school closures. Diop said security forces are managing the situation and accused jihadists of trying to incite unrest to topple the military-led government. Despite warnings, schools are reopening and Bamako is hosting a defense exhibition. He stressed Mali remains welcoming to foreigners and downplayed calls for urgent international intervention, highlighting the gap between the government's assurances and regional perception of stability. Now, a major economic pivot in Nigeria. Nigeria has dropped plans to impose a 15% import duty on petrol and diesel, citing assurances of adequate supply during the year-end holidays. The tariff, approved by President Bola Tinubu to boost non-oil revenues, faced opposition from fuel marketers concerned it could over-rely on the Dangote refinery. Despite domestic refining, Nigeria still imports millions of dollars worth of fuel annually. The NMDPRA urged buyers against panic buying and promised to monitor supply. Sometimes pragmatism fuels the economy better than policy. We turn now to the horrific situation in Sudan, where the international community has been pressured to act. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged the international community to cut off weapons to Sudan's rapid support forces after reports of mass killings and sexual violence in el-Fasher. Speaking after a G7 meeting, he condemned the systemic attacks and dismissed RF claims of rogue elements. The RSF fighting Sudan's army since April 2023 now controls all cities in Darfur, with thousands feared dead or malnourished. You're watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. The conflict in Ukraine is now reaching deep into Africa. Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister Musalia Mudavadi said around 200 Kenyans, including former security personnel, are fighting for Russia in Ukraine, with recruitment networks still active. Rescued recruits reported handling drones and chemicals without training, while others were lured with promises of $18,000. President William Ruto has asked Ukraine to secure the release of nationals in the conflict zone. Authorities warn some recruits may be drawn into forced criminal activities posing national and global security risk. Closer to home, at least 6 people have died and 22 were injured during a crowd crush at a military recruitment event in El-Wak Stadium in Accra, Ghana, after thousands surged past security to apply for army positions. The incident occurred ahead of the event scheduled for 6:20 GMT start, with authorities citing an unexpected influx of applicants amid the country's 32% youth unemployment rate. A similar crush in Kumasi injured 5 others on the same day. Ghana's President John Mahama visited the injured, and the recruitment exercise was briefly suspended to improve safety, while an official investigation has been announced. Hope can sometimes turn deadly when opportunity collides with chaos. Switching gears to culture. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Burna Boy stirred debate after ordering a couple out of his Denver concert on Wednesday for allegedly sleeping during his performance. Pausing his set, he demanded the male fan take his girlfriend home, refusing to continue until they left. The couple eventually complied after the crowd echoed the singer's demand, and Burna Boy resumed performing. The incident adds to his history of controversially ejecting fans for minor reasons, including not dancing or storming the stage. The episode underscores a tension in live entertainment. Passion for performance can sometimes clash with audience patience, turning fan loyalty into a precarious dance. Finally, to the spirit of sports, as Morocco hosts the 35th Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations from December 21st, 2025 to January 18, 2026. Hundreds of young volunteers are being trained in public communication, logistics, reception, and first aid to ensure a smooth tournament. The workshop equips youth from across the country to support 24 national teams across 9 stadiums in 6 cities. Participants express excitement at contributing to Africa's premier football event while gaining professional skills. Morocco's focus on volunteers shows that the spirit of African football thrives not just on the pitch, but in those who make the spectacle possible. Whether it's the cost of political maneuvering in Juba, the price of security in Mali, or the terrible human cost of desperation in Accra, true stability is measured in the safety and security of every citizen, not just the powerful. I'm Rubio, and this is the African News Update on Top Accolade News, keeping you connected to the pulse of the continent.